Hi everyone. So I am Skylar N. West and I'm from Southampton City Council. I'm also part of the Violence Reduction Unit and my official title is the Community Coordinator for Violence Against Women and Girls. And just to say a thank you for clicking on this video and seeing that you would like to become a Safe Places member, which is something that we've launched since the beginning of 2022. So the scheme it's a national scheme, and we've joined it for the next 4 years. We've made an upfront payment of a 4-year subscription to this scheme, and what it is that it is predominantly for those with known vulnerabilities, such as autism, learning difficulties, Alzheimer's as well. But here at the council and the Violence Reduction Unit, and obviously with my job role, we really wanted to expand that lens and adapt it to Southampton's needs, which was to address the violence against women and girls, but particularly the public violence against women and girls. And that encompasses public sexual harassment. So that would be staring that makes someone feel extremely uncomfortable. It could be physical assault, so either touching or groping, following, so stalking. So all of the things that can happen in the public space, and that does happen in public spaces, particularly in Southampton. So there was a real need to address that and make our public places safer for each and every individual, but as well as those who can be vulnerable whilst they're out and about. So I do have a PowerPoint, and what this will do, it will go through the scheme, why it's important to make our public places safer, and I'll also touch on the membership itself, so what will be included in what you will receive as a member from us. So all the resources and everything else is free. It's free membership too. And then we'll go on to the frequently asked questions and any concerns that you may have, and also how to contact us afterwards as well. So this is the training video, and I hope you find it useful. I forgot to mention that we will be touching on how to respond to a user that uses your safe place as well. And we use the traffic light system for that to help bolster your approach and support to someone who is vulnerable and comes to use your safe place. So I will share my screen. Just 1 second. There you go. So if I just, the overview, sorry, is why is a safe place important? The network in Southampton, what is included in the membership, and like I said, frequently asked questions that we've come across a lot in our briefings and in discussions with members whilst they're signing up. We've come across a standardised set of questions that we tend to get asked almost every time. So I hope they'll be useful for you. So why is it important? Not only just Southampton, obviously a lot of cities, and especially cities that are known for their student life, have a real focus on making their public places safer, because Southampton itself, I've touched on violence against women and girls, but Southampton itself, compared to our local neighbours, is unfortunately it's more prevalent in Southampton. We are higher for domestic abuse, we're higher for sexual offences, we're higher for public violence against women and girls as well. And feelings of safety, especially at night for females, it is a lot less than it is for males, sorry. And overall, those who are disabled or are transgender also feel most at risk in daytime public places, even when it's busy. And that's a national concern as well, not just in Southampton, that one. So there's a real need to ensure that people feel safe whilst they're out and about in the city. And it will also help to encourage a network of supporting businesses. And that does include the day and nighttime economy, because they are two different environments, but people don't pick and choose when they want support. It shouldn't be limited to the 9 till 5, which is the usual daytime. So we do have nighttime economy venues signed up as well, because as I said, they're two different environments. They bring their own risks. So for the nighttime economy, it's more those who are intoxicated, they might be alone, physically vulnerable. They may suffer from mental health issues, so then obviously exacerbated by drinking and potentially drugs can make them a lot more vulnerable as well. And violence against women and girls, antisocial behaviour, and violent crime itself is really highly related to the nighttime economy. But in daytime, Unfortunately, it's not much different, but it just takes away the element of people are unlikely to be intoxicated or have exacerbating factors during the day. But it's more, for someone who might need a safe space for 5 minutes to calm down, they might be overwhelmed, they might feel anxious. Whereas in the nighttime economy, they might have actually been a victim of a crime. Not to say that someone can't be a victim of a crime during the daytime. It's just trying to highlight that there are slight differences in the needs between day and nighttime economy. Also, it's really important for our businesses to build that trust with the public and increase those feelings of safety, because at the council, we have an annual strategic assessment which highlights all of the issues using the annual safety community survey that's reported from our residents. And a big issue of that is that people do not feel safe in the city centre at night. Mostly, I believe that they feel fairly safe during the day, but we know that a lot of daytime offences and incidences do occur, especially hate crime as well. So it's also to encourage and report the crimes and instances that go underreported. So I've touched on hate crime and also public sexual harassment, because we're really trying to encourage that people can report these incidences, even though they may not be a crime. There is that grey area, but we are trying to teach and support our businesses to their support our users. Would you like to report this? Because any data is important data, and it's an insight that our police can use and what we can use here at the council to help prioritise our resources and what areas need the most attention. And again, I have already said that Southampton itself is a student city where most of them are away from home for the very first time. Again, drinking, probably not really knowing their limits. It's probably the first time they've been able to have the sense of freedom. So it means that they are just that more vulnerable. So we want our members to be seen as a friendly place, a place that is free of judgment, where people can seek a temporary refuge as they are supported with whatever their need may be. Go on to the next slide. There we go. So going on to, okay, so how would you then support someone who uses your safe place? So what we have is a traffic light response, and it goes from green, amber to red. Green would be a low level intervention. Amber would be a slight escalation from green, and a red is that serious intervention. So you may actually need to call an emergency service for a crime, or to help someone who may be mentally unwell, or they might be physically unwell as well. But we're more thinking on the lines of someone may actually come in and need to call 999 because they've been a witness or a victim of a crime or incident. Something to think of throughout the process is to keep calm and reassure them you are going to help them. Ask them their name and use it when talking to them, so it's personalized. You have that one-to-one interaction with them, and that your attention is on them in that moment. And ask them what they need help with. Some of them may struggle with communication, and we do have a communication guide which is part of the resources, but we do have one with symbols as well. So if you were handling someone with autism or learning difficulty, you should be able to point to what kind of help they would need from you. So that communication resource is there to help with that. Speak clearly using simple language and short sentences, and take them and their problem seriously. So for example, just on top of my mind, because I've mentioned it already, public sexual harassment. People can see that as very low level and something that might not be worth reporting. And we know that victims feel that way anyway, because the lack of confidence they have in the police at the moment, the lack of safety they feel when they're out and about, and they don't feel that it's something worth reporting. However, it really is. Even if they don't want to report, take them seriously, because think of the impact that has just had on that individual. So that they've come to your safe place because they feel threatened, and they need to get out of that environment. So yeah, whatever the problem is, take them seriously and with an open mind. They may also actually have a safe place card, which is what we provide as well. So on that, it would be their name, a contact detail, and whether to call the police or not as well. So ask if they have this, because it would really help if they need to be picked up. So for example, it might be an amber response. They might need a taxi or a parent or friend to come pick them up, and that information would be on there. So call the appropriate number following the traffic light indicators, which is what I've just touched on. So yeah, depending on their need and the situation they're in, use that response. And keep talking to them while you are both waiting. So for example, say you are calling the police or you are calling a support service or their friend, stay with them. You don't want to abandon them and then leave them alone in that moment. And always be polite, open, and treat them with respect. So this information is in the communication guide already. So this response is what we will be using and what you will receive. So don't think this is the last time you'll see it and have to go through with it, because you will have this resource as well. So what does the membership itself actually include? It includes, of course, the Safe Places sticker. And this is how you let people know that you are a safe place, that you are a temporary refuge that people can come to. And I've touched on the Safe Places cards, and this is what they look like. We have them in ID size, so ID card size, and we also have them in a larger size, just for those who might need a bit more visibility and a bit more room to write in as well. So we do have two versions of that you can request during your sign up email. And yeah, we will provide these for you. We'll send them to your location. This is the communication guide here on the right hand side. It is a whole booklet itself. It's not just this one page, and it does go through the traffic light response again with you, and it has the symbols on there as well to help aid communication. And then you have a staff room poster. Staff room poster as well. And this is to help standardise the approach between all of your staff members. You'll also receive some PIPA resources, and PIPA is Southampton's domestic abuse and sexual violence service. So anyone who is age 18 or over who has either disclosed they're being abused or they've just been sexually assaulted, I highly recommend, or you urge them to either call the helpline, or you can give them a support card and suggest that that not suggest, sorry, but identify that this is the place to go to in Southampton. There are a load of other support services and resources, and I'll go on to touch that later. And not to overwhelm your members either. It is just we have it all already done for you. We've got the signposting for you, so we have the resources for that. And to raise awareness of the safe spaces locations. So what that is that local pharmacies, Lloyd's, TSB banks, they're in Southampton as well. There's a lot of them, which is great. But safe spaces unhelpfully sounds like safe places. They are different schemes. So we're safe places, and safe spaces is the one that's in banks and pharmacies. And what that is that is a particular domestic abuse scheme. So if anyone wants to make that disclosure with a trained professional in a private room, that's what they're there for. So if you don't feel like you're equipped to give that information, that's absolutely fine. And it's not sloping the shoulders either. You're giving them a really relevant support there by saying, actually, there's a safe space that will give you exactly what you need. And then either require an escort for them or to be able to say, this is how you get there. And this is the Safe Places brochure, which I just mentioned. So this is the bunch of resources that we have compiled for everyone into a brochure. So we will be sending these to you as a physical document as well, so an actual brochure, or there's a digital version in PDF too, just to save printing. And if you think it would be easier, because we do have QR codes for this as well. So it's just however you would like to distribute this, we have options. But ideally, for those who may not want to seek support there and then, they might just want to come in, take a breather. You can give them this booklet and they can refer to it when they're home and in their private life as well. And it gives you a list of all the national, well, not all, sorry, the vast majority of national and local support services that address a variety of needs. So how to report a crime, learning disabilities and autism, hate crime, mental health support, support for violence against women and girls, dementia and Alzheimer's support, homelessness, drug and alcohol support, support for after a crime, and then safeguarding adults and children, which we actually have Southampton City Council contacts on the safeguarding part as well, because we are responsible for that in the city. So we found that whilst briefing to members, not everyone knew where to signpost someone. So then we created this resource for that exact purpose. This is the map I mentioned and the QR codes that we do have available. So there is an interactive map for the safe places. You can see the closest safe place to you. So this map allows you to scan that QR code and it takes you to that. Or you can actually download the app itself, which is free to use. And we do highly recommend the Love Don't Hate app, which is how to report a hate crime to Southampton's hate crime network, because it does interlink with the Safe Places scheme, because we're really trying to, as I mentioned at the beginning, raise awareness of those crimes and incidences that don't go reported for a majority of personal barriers. So yeah, to publicise that would be fantastic. And again, we will give you the resources to do that, because we are obviously closely related with the hate crime network. And it's really useful to know that there is actually a panic button on the Safe Places app. So if you can't find a safe place on the location within 10 minutes walking distance, it will then, if you press at the very bottom, take me to my closest safe place now, it then directs you to 999 or 101 if it's an emergency. There's also access to learning materials and make crime resources. All you'd have to do is just ask for the login details and we can provide you with that. And this is to help you educate your users. So say you're a school, so in a classroom, or if you feel like you'd like to do this with your staff members, just to educate them what a make crime is, that would be absolutely great as well. So the sign up checklist, because I know that was a lot of information. So the first things first, if you want to become a member, is to email us at safeplace@southampton.gov.uk. And in your email, please let us know your postcode and your name of business so we can sign you straight up. Ensure your front of house team have read through the training pack. So everything that will be provided on the training hub, and watch this video as well. Download your Safe Places toolkit, which will provide you with your resources. And once all the team are trained, we will make your business live on the Safe Places map. So let us know when everyone is trained and ready to go, and we will make you live. Also, to make sure that your new safe place is promoted using the assets we will also provide you, and this is all included in the Safe Places toolkit, which is provided. Sorry. So going on to the frequently asked questions. We have the main one, which is, do we need a separate room for a safe space? It is not necessary. It's not like a term and condition with it or anything like that. It's just if there is a space you think could be used, please do feel free. However, it can be done in the main space or just taken to a quiet area of the main space as well. You don't have to have a separate room, but if you do have it, it would be great if you could use it. Do you report the incidences? We love hearing about the scheme and how it is working. So if you have a positive story or a case study you'd like to use, share it with us, because we would love to know. And this is how we measure. It's part of measuring the success of the scheme as well. So the stories you share can be used as case studies to help us promote and grow the network. For other members to look at and gauge what kind of support and how incidences occur and what they can expect. So the third one is, how will progress be measured? So I've just touched on the fact that, based on the stories that we receive, that's part of how we measure progress. And it's also, we use the Safe City annual survey, which I touched on earlier. And that's what gives us a lot of feedback from residents. So all of a sudden, in a year or two time, that their feelings of safety is improved during the day and night, or nighttime, sorry, we can then actually potentially correlate that with the Safe Places scheme. And interpreting our crime data as well. So an increase in reporting isn't always a bad thing. It doesn't necessarily correlate with an increase of incidences. It may actually mean an increase in confidence to report. So again, that is one of the aims of the scheme too. So if crime data and incidences being reported increases, we can potentially relate that to, okay, the Safe Places scheme or awareness raising can play a part in that as well. And we will have regular contact between our members as well. So please do let us know if you want to opt out, because would love to keep in contact with you at least once a month with regular updates, potential resources we've developed that we can share with you all, and if it gives you the opportunity to share anything back with us. So once a month we will be sending out a newsletter to each of our members, but please do let us know if you want to opt out of that, because we'd have to take your email off the mailing list. We are also building a network with the business community and creating a safer community for residents and visitors. How many staff need to be trained? It is recommended that all front of house staff are expected to go through the training pack and watch this video before coming a live safe place. So that just then ensures that anyone who walks through the door, there will always be help available to support them. Can my business choose the times it operates as a safe place? 100%. Again, it's not limited, as I touched on earlier. It's not going to be the 9 till 5. If your cafe or pub or shop or whatever closes at 3, That's absolutely fine. And as we do have nighttime economy spaces, some obviously don't close till 3 a.m. So it really isn't limited at all. Just please do let us know. Um, and do we need to consider insurance and liability as a safe place? And your already existing current public liability insurance is sufficient for this purpose. There's no extra licensing or insurance you need to consider. And if you did want to remove your business from the scheme, just let us know and we will remove yourself from the live map and from our emailing list as well. So we look forward to welcoming you to our Growing Safe Places. And this is just a snapshot of the promotional week we had way back in the summer. And this is where we had those from the integrated commissioning unit involved. We had our Stronger Communities team, who are an engagement team. We literally marched the whole of Southampton. We split it up by ward, and on each day for 5 days, we went and visited that ward with our pair, and we signed up businesses and really spread the word, and it was fantastic. And it boosted our membership by it doubled it. It doubled our members, and we've now got up to 120 members across the whole of Southampton, and that's not limited to just the city centre. So yeah, it would be great for your name to be a part of that. So again, this is going to be available on the page as well, not just in the slideshow, but if you need to that's our email if you'd like to contact us, our website, which has all of the information on it as well. And again, just a reminder, please let us know if you'd like to subscribe to our monthly updates. God, I was tripping over my words there. So please just let us know. So this can all be included in the original inquiry email you send us. So I'm aware that is a lot of information. Again, this will be readily available for you in the toolkit to refer back to as well. So thank you for taking the time to watch, and I look forward to welcoming you into our scheme.